During my time over here in Europe, it's been really fantastic discovering the different dolls that are available and that are popular over here. And one of the things I've learned is that Spain has one of the richest markets in dolls. These little ones here are made by the Paola Reina company, which is a really big producer in Spain, and they have a really broad range of products available. This is one of their most widely available products. You can get these dolls globally. These are referred to as the Las Amigas, which means literally just the friends. And it just refers to this size of doll made by Paola Reina. These are 12.5-inch dolls. They're roughly comparable with Welly Wishes dolls and Hearts for Hearts and several others in that size range. These dolls are incredibly popular as toys, but also as collector pieces. And one of the biggest reasons, well, a couple of the reasons why these dolls are so popular with collectors is the faces. And I will have a closer up look of their faces in a little while. But they have incredibly expressive and detailed faces that make them really popular for customizers and repaint artists. The other reason why these dolls are so popular is their incredibly affordable price point. These, I would hazard to say, are one of the cheapest collector dolls out there. Paola Reina is a Spanish company that produces all their dolls locally in Spain. They have been around since 1994, so that means it's about 30 years now. And what they do primarily is produce very high quality toys at a very affordable price point. Although these dolls are of course more readily available in Spain, they are available globally. There are Paola Reina dealers in most countries around the world, though you are likely to pay a little bit more if you are purchasing them from one of those dealers than if you buy directly from someone in Spain. As you can see, there are basically two levels of doll that you can purchase. You can get the complete dressed doll in a display box like these two, or you can purchase the doll just coming in very basic underwear, and they come in a little pouch. Both have the Paola Reina label showing that they are originals, and they have a little wrist tag. The difference is nearly double in price. These two are going to cost you about $25 for the doll in the underwear, whereas these ones are going to cost you about $45 for the fully dressed doll. One of the great things about these is that many dealers will also sell the clothing and shoes separately. So that means that you can essentially customize the doll that you want, buying the one in a pouch and the outfit that you like the best. The doll clothing and the shoes are simple, but they are really nicely made. One of the things that I find a little bit frustrating is that the shoes are not included in the outfit, and you do have to buy them separately. And that can mean that if you're customizing your own doll rather than buying a complete full set like this, it can end up costing you a bit more. But one of the good things is that because these dolls are so popular, there are now a lot of sellers from third-party sites like AliExpress and Etsy where you can get different shoes, non-original shoes that will fit these dolls and will look incredible. And so you can get a wider variety, but also, something that is a little bit cheaper. If you're buying one of these inbox complete dolls, another cute feature is that they each come with their own mini hairbrush and mirror that folds out. I really like these as they are great for travel and can be stored in the box. So I think they're a little bit harder to lose than brushes that come with other dolls. And they are branded with the Paola Reina logo, which makes them fun and almost collectible in their own right. Now let's take a closer look at these dolls and the different options available if you are looking at purchasing your first Paola Reina Las Amigas. The dolls come incredibly easily out of their packaging, be it the plastic slip or the box. One of the things that I really love about these dolls, and that gives them to me a real collector feel, is that the two box dolls actually had no clips at all holding them in. There were only those elastic straps that fixed them to hooks. And this is something that's really rare to find in dolls that are we're actually at a lower price point. So that is a really nice thing. It means your doll comes out in excellent condition. They also all have plastic wrap apart from Cecile, which holds their hair into place. And that might be because of the nature of her hair, that she didn't have one. I chose these 4 dolls as between them they represent all of the basic options that are available in the Las Amigas line. So we can see represented here the 3 different skin colors that are generally available. So there are 2 paler skinned dolls here. We have the in-between medium tone skin and Nora, who has the dark skin tone. We can also see the 4 base face sculpts. Now they are all have significant similarities, but these are generally the 4 that you're going to be choosing from if you pick a Paola Reina doll. This is Nora. Her face sculpt is more commonly used on the darker skinned dolls. This one here is Cecile from last year's collection. Her face sculpt is, I would say, the most commonly used of the face sculpt, so the easiest to find. This doll here is Simona, who's often also released her face sculpt under the name of Cleo. She is considered the newest of the face designs. It's also the most strikingly different, as she has a significant smile, whereas all the others have a very neutral lip design. The last one here, this doll is Manika. She has an Asian appearance to her, and she can be purchased in all of the 3 different skin tones, but obviously in different years and different designs. This one here is pale skin tone with wheat blonde hair. Generally speaking, the Las Amigas go for a high level of realism in the dolls. But one of the things that has drawn me to this line is that there is still a fantasy and exciting element to them. We do get dolls with these exaggerated hair colors, such as Cecile's here, which is platinum to the verge of white. Several dolls were released with this super long hair like Manika, so we get that fun level of creativity that we can have with styling the hair. I also purchased this doll secondhand. This is an older line, but I thought she highlighted some of the other features that Las Amigas have had at different times. So she was from the Angels and Demons releases a couple of years ago. These dolls are quite hard to find now. You can perhaps see why, because they are pretty unique. She has purple skin, she has hair which is black and orange toned, and she also came with a very stylized different outfit. Although you may or may not love this doll, because obviously, she's going to appeal to certain types of people, but she's a doll that I really appreciate that the company made these, and there were several others in the line with, again, really exciting fantasy skin tones. So we had to represent different kinds of monsters. Although her styling is very different, you can see that she shares a face sculpt with Cecile. These dolls are flat-footed. They do not come with a stand, but it is relatively easily to stand them up and keep them stable if you are careful, especially those ones wearing shoes. But even the girls with bare feet, I was able to get standing without any assistance. One thing that is important to note about these dolls that you really notice when you first take them out of the packet is the smell. They are made, and in fact everything that comes out of the Paola Reina factory has a vanilla scent. I don't mind it because it isn't terribly strong. I don't really see the value in it though. It's something that, I guess it surprises me that a company adds a scent to their toys, because there are people out there who are sensitive or even allergic to scents, and it is going to cut them off. Personally, I don't like things being over-scented, and I was worried about the smell that these dolls would have. It is quite mild though, even having all 5 of them in front of me. I can't really smell it from here. But that said, even the doll who is several years old now and who is secondhand, I can still smell it on her if I try. So I guess just be aware if you have a sensitivity to odors that even a secondhand Paola Reina is going to have that vanilla smell. The doll body is fairly basic. It doesn't have a lot of detail to it, but it is well proportioned and, you know, gives the right styling idea for the aesthetic that these dolls are going for, which I would say is somewhere around a 10-year-old girl. They have only very basic posing capabilities. The joints work well, but they don't give a lot of movement. There is a little bit of head tilt to these dolls, which is nice. One thing that has become very popular with customizers, not just changing the face and giving them new makeup, but also giving these dolls new body. And there are some renowned BJD companies, like Darak in particular, that are actually purposefully making bodies specifically for these dolls. But one thing I think is great about the Paola Reina company is that they obviously listen to their collectors and what is going on. As you can see, that Cecile has a completely new body. And although it isn't as heavily jointed as many collector dolls, Paola Reina, has really been listening and has seen that collectors want more posability, and they have introduced an articulated body with jointing at the knees and the elbows. She also has a new joint at the waist, and that kind of gives her the appearance of wearing underwear as well. I quite like that because she doesn't have she doesn't have that fake imprinting of underwear that many cheaper dolls have, but she still has that sort of appearance and giving her a sense of modesty. The posability capabilities of the new body are not extreme. The knee doesn't bend significantly. As you can see, this is actually the maximum bend that I can get on both the knee and the elbow. But personally, I really like this because it just gives her so many more opportunities, for play and for posing. Personally, when I play with a doll, I rarely need her to take on really extreme and bizarre poses. But I do want her to be able to, sit in a more realistic way, or, just be able to look like she is in motion rather than looking like she is absolutely stationary. And I think this body offers just enough capabilities for that. I also think that in some ways it adds a little bit to the beauty of the doll. She has a slightly slimmer appearance, maybe looks a tad older, and those are things that do appeal to me as well. So I think it is really fantastic that Paola Reina has introduced this new body. If you're looking for one of these dolls, just be aware you have to look specifically for the articulated body, as we are still getting releases with both body forms. I find that kind of surprising because the jointed dolls aren't really much more expensive, and I just would have thought that Paola Reina would be moving all of their dolls towards this body. But it is something that only a specific line will have the articulated body. So just look for it if you want it. If you're buying one of the basic dolls who comes only in underwear, that is a pretty cute little outfit, in fact, to get for a doll who only costs you about $25. But there are lots of great outfits available direct from Paola Reina, as well as, of course, from Etsy artists. These dolls are pretty popular with customizers, but there are some great options. I mentioned that one of the things I love about this doll is that there is a certain element of fantasy in the company, and I think that some of the non-American lines do that a little bit better. Paola Reina has, as well as their fantasy line, they have a historical line, and you can get some of those outfits separately as well. So I managed to pick up some really nice historic dresses for these dolls that I will try on my basics. There are also some other really funky and fun outfits from all different eras and all different styles available. Really just depends what you're looking for. The outfits are also quite affordable. And it does tend to vary based on what you're going for. One of these more elaborate historic dresses might cost you about $20, whereas one of the more basic outfits is probably only going to cost you about $15. And you can get some of them secondhand as well if you're worried about the price. But personally, I think that that's pretty reasonable. The only thing, as I said, is that you're not going to get shoes with any of those, so you will have to get those separately as well. I've dressed each of the girls in clothing that I feel matches their aesthetic, and I have to say they are just adorable. It is hard not to be charmed by these little girls. They have so much personality and, you know, at such a great package in terms of price for value for money. The faces are so charming, so expressive, and also across all of them, there is such a great range of different eye colors, hairstyles, and so on. I think each one of these has their own beauty, although I have to say that I think my favorite is Simona. It surprised me at first because when I saw initial pictures of this face sculpt, I was a little bit surprised. I wasn't initially charmed by her, but seeing her up close, she is just adorable. The little smile really clutches at the heart and makes me feel like she is a real person with a real personality. Please let me know if you have a favorite doll from amongst this collection, or if there is one from the new series that has just come out that you just would love to get hold of, or you would love to see me get hold of and do a video of, because I am thinking about picking up some of the 2024 releases as well. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to like this video.